You said you've practiced non-monogamy for years. You have lots of unique dating experiences and stories, more so recently since being separated and dating as single instead of married. You experience men trying to jump right into a relationship with you after even the first or second date, and you think that this is really strange. I do have a question for you on this. So what would you prefer then? Like, they just keep you in a situationship for 6 months while fucking 3 other women?
I mean, I like taking the time to get to know someone, especially because I have a child in the picture. I feel like it's really important for me to fully vet someone before investing myself in them and my daughter's life. So it's really important to me to take my time to get to know someone, and I think it's weird if they just want to like jump right into a relationship with me, because it just seems like they just want to own me. They don't really care about getting to know me. They don't care about knowing if we're compatible. I don't know what they bring to the table for me and my daughter. So
can you just tilt your mic down just a bit? So, but wouldn't this be difficult to begin with because you're polyamorous, right? So, I mean, that's kind of off the table, right?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, they want to be, well, I guess they could jump right into a polyamorous relationship with you, right?
Right.
But I mean, I'm not totally sure, like, what is the difference between dating somebody and being in a like just what changes once you become in a relationship, you know?
There's boundaries and expectations like any relationship. Only difference is you have that to multiple people.
Yeah, but I could have boundaries on the second date with somebody.
When have you ever done that?
I do it all the time.
How? Give me examples.
What do you mean?
I just say things like,
Well,
okay, I don't want you to date other people, right?
On the second date?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Even on the first date, even before I meet them. Well, I know this is funny to you
dating
because,
multiple
okay, I'm not gonna, well, I know this is funny to you, but yeah.
That's really interesting.
Why is that interesting?
I mean, I disagree.
Sure, that's fine.
You know, I have a child in the picture, and I learned a lot from my previous marriage, what I don't want in a partner, and I want to make sure that doesn't happen to me again.
Sure.
And I feel like, you know, maybe the problem with that was, you know, we rushed right into a relationship without really taking the time to get to know each other. And I regret that. You know, I love my daughter. I don't regret her for 1 second. She's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. But yeah, I really want to take my time getting to know people. And I feel like I just have a very relaxed approach to dating. Like, I'm down to get to know you and see where it goes. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a quick example, though, at least for me. So if I go on a first date with a girl, for example, and I'm interested in pursuing her, like an immediate boundary I'd put down is if you want a second date, there can't be other men in the picture.
You gotta have no roster, right? Basically.
Pretty much.
How do you know that from the first date?
Well, I mean, I would, even before meeting her, I might ask, are there other men in the picture? Are you dating other men? And if there are, I'm very unlikely to even go on the date.
Well, that's interesting.
Why is that?
I'm not monogamous, and I haven't ever been, so I guess I don't really understand, but it's just not how my brain works.
Well, I mean, I know it's not what you do, but like certainly you could understand that, for example, for somebody who's inclined towards monogamy, the idea of, for example, having sex with somebody while they're having sex with someone else might be disgusting.
Yeah. For me, that would be disgusting.
I mean, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Well, I don't think it's opinion. I actually do think it's a fact for two people to be simultaneous. Like,
it's like a standard.
Insofar as like the STD risk, I mean, STDs are disgusting.
Yeah, so I mean, that's actually like a boundary of mine is I don't hook up with someone or I'm not, you know, sexually involved with them unless we've both been tested and they show that to me. So that was always parameters.
That's always been your standard?
That's always been the case.
You've never had a spontaneous sexual encounter?
No.
You've never had a spontaneous?
No, not since, you know, I mean, the past 5 years into now.
Okay, what about before then?
I mean, when I was younger,
You've had spontaneous sexual encounters that did not
it was different.
Let's go get an STD test. But you have had them, right? It's not a knock. People do it all the time, but you have had spontaneous
Yeah, but like
encounters.
We're talking about right now, so I'm not really sure why that matters.
Sure. Well, I'm happy to engage with you even when it comes to your current standard. So even if you have an STD test, there could be a false negative, there could be a false positive. Certain things might not come up on the STD test. Also, most people aren't taking full panel STD tests. They might do like gonorrhea, chlamydia.
I'm aware.
Huh?
I'm aware.
Yeah, like they're not really, like I'm pretty sure Like if you go to your doctor, like, hey, can I get an STD test? They're not checking for HPV. They're not checking for herpes. Sometimes these things don't even show up on an STD test. Frankly, like the STDs you ought to be concerned about are the permanent ones, HPV, herpes, HSV. So these are not typically tested for. Although like chlamydia and gonorrhea, that would suck to get.
I mean,
these are treatable, they're curable.
Yeah.
That's typically what they're testing for. They're typically not going to test for like really the major one, which is like going to be herpes.
I mean, I agree with you.
HPV is the one that causes cervical cancer in women. I know a lot of women get the jab for that one, but it still doesn't necessarily, it reduces your risk of getting cervical cancer. But in any case, I'm not sure if like the STD test is going to be like a 100-fold proof plan for protecting you from STDs. And if you're like engaging in sexual conduct with like multiple people, it like does increase your risk of STD. So that's why it's disgusting.
Just use condoms.
If you ask someone to get a test and a full panel, which I'm full aware of, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. Yeah, you know, like most panels that people get don't include that unless you specifically ask for it and it's a blood test. Of course, it's different. I'm aware of that. Sure. I'm not disagreeing with you, but yeah, I mean, you know, also and use protection on top of that. So
I mean, even if you use protection though, like, I mean, herpes, the big one, like it can be on other parts of the pubic private area.
Yeah, I mean, my mom has it and my best friend has it, so I'm very aware of what it is and, you know, contraindications and how it's transmitted and how it affects people in their life, something I'm very aware of. So I practice safe sex always.
How can you, I mean, when it comes to herpes, how can you practice safe sex?
You ask for a test, you know?
I know, but like
not give oral.
Wearing a condom is not going to prevent you from getting herpes.
So if they have a rash, you would be able to see that, you know, and it
could be pre-symptomatic.
Or in their mouth.
I mean, it's more likely to be transmitted if they have an
That's why I
active
don't suck
rash.
dick. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
I mean, I'm not really sure why my sex life is interesting to you. Can we talk about something else?
I mean, it's.
Can you stop sexualizing me?
How am I sexualizing you?
Asking about my sex life.
How would that be sexualizing you? You're on a dating podcast to talk about dating related topics.
I said I'm happy to talk about other things. This just seems like a weird topic.
How's it a weird topic?
I just feel like this is really what you want to talk about. You know, I've said my stance. You just want. Okay, then go ahead, keep talking. Anything else you'd like to?
I mean, you were
propose?
asking me. The genesis of this conversation was you asked me, hey, this is not how I operate in my relationships, and then I was like giving you an example of, oh, it's a wrap. I don't like if you want a second date with me, you can't be seeing other men. And one of the reasons for this, and I have a couple reasons, but one of the main reasons is if she's sleeping with another guy, there's a higher risk of getting an STD. And it's even if she's sleeping with a man, she doesn't have an STD, he doesn't have an STD. It's still, the thought of it is disgusting.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion.
Well, again, I don't think it's an opinion. I just think it's fact. Like the idea of another man's semen being inside her and then that's disgusting.
It's a really weird way to look at it, buddy.
I mean, why is it weird?
I mean, she's your object. You own her after you go on a first date with her.
Did I say that?
But I mean, it's like implying that, okay, she's mine. I want to be the only penis that goes inside of her.
Yes.
Monogamous relationship.
Yes.
Same thing.
If you want to call that controlling, that I don't want my girl, like the girl I'm dating, I don't want her to fuck other men. If you want to call that controlling, then I'm controlling.
Like I personally wouldn't want my boyfriend fucking other bitches and fucking me afterwards.
Disagree. That's your opinion. You asked my opinion.
How's that controlling? How's that controlling though? I don't understand.
That's my opinion. To me, and the way I live my life is different, and that's okay.
Wait,
we can agree to disagree, baby
I personally
girl.
it's gross too. I think it's gross too.
See, there we go. Cosign from a woman.
Yeah, because I would hate for my boyfriend to be fucking random bitches raw and then coming home and fucking me, and that's disgusting. I don't want his dick and somebody else, and then in me afterwards. Like the fuck. Sorry, I just can't do that.
Yep. Okay.
I'm monogamous.